Yo, what's good? NBA YouTube. It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Today, I want to dive into this Detroit Pistons versus Toronto Raptors game. I always love these face-offs between Dwayne Casey and his whole team, the Toronto Raptors. So many beautiful storylines in this matchup, and I'm going to dive into that tonight. If you like this video, please smash that like button for me. It helps with the algorithms. Definitely feel free to subscribe, share with your friends and families and folks. And if you want to continue the conversation, jump on my Twitter, Rock Never Stops, #2. But without further ado, let's dive into this. Dwayne Casey is like playing your older brother who's been beating you your whole life because they know something about you. And no matter how good you get, they always know how to beat you because they know you sometimes better than you know yourself. It's almost like, I don't know how many of you have ever played old school basketball, like where you're a young guy on the court and there's a bunch of OG vets who are on the court, and then they talk you out of your game, right? They like trash talk you, but they talk to you in a way where it makes you start doing things that are uncharacteristic outside of yourself. And the next thing you know, you end up playing their game style to their advantage. And then they beat you like 12-6. You know what I mean? Or they beat you like 15 to like 9, right? And you're sitting there thinking like, we got the better team, we got the more athletic guys, these guys is older, and they're sitting there chuckling and giggling and laughing after the game because they know something that you don't know. They know something about you at this stage and how you're going to play. And they know how to play upon that, play upon your age, how you see the world, and they just seem to be able to beat you every time. That's Dwayne Casey against the Toronto Raptors. And there's something to be said when you were with a team at the turn of their moment of success. Like Dwayne Casey was there at the beginning where they went from a franchise nobody really wanted to go to all of a sudden creating a culture, an identity, a foundation that would eventually culminate in a championship. And the messed up part about it was they fired him as he won Coach of the Year 1 year before their championship. Now, everybody wants to say Nick Nurse is a great coach. I think he's a great coach. But it doesn't negate that Dwayne Casey was also a great coach. And you can say it was Nick Nurse that was the difference. I am one who thinks it was Kawhi Leonard being the difference and LeBron James being gone to the Western Conference that was the difference, right? LeBron was a beast. He was a beast. And he was rolling over everybody. Look, he beat a 73-win Golden State Warriors. The man is a monster. And I think that Dwayne Casey was the fall guy for Toronto coming up short again and again and again. But it's not their fault. Just like the Knicks couldn't beat Jordan, the Miami Heat couldn't beat Jordan, the Indiana Pacers couldn't beat Jordan, the Cleveland Cavaliers couldn't beat Jordan. It wasn't them, it was Jordan. And the same thing for the Toronto Raptors. We all know how the story goes. Toronto Raptors end up winning a championship. And Dwayne Casey goes into NBA, what do they call it? Going into the wetlands, going into the land of obscurity where nobody really keeps track of your career anymore with the Detroit Pistons. But I didn't lose track of them. I continue to know who Dwayne Casey is. Dwayne Casey is the goods. Many people forget that he was highly recruited as a coach coming out of Dallas. And he was somebody that everybody wanted for good reason. Because he can not only develop, but he creates a foundation for success. And you see the Detroit Pistons developing just that. Eerily enough, they seem to be developing a team that looks almost identical to what the Toronto Raptors have been building with Masai Ujiri. A bunch of tall, lengthy, athletic, high skill, high character, team first players. All the way from Killian Hayes, Cade Cunningham, Isaiah Stewart, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant. These guys, great character, play both ends, give great effort. You don't have to ask them to give great effort. And you know what? They seem to have the formula. And it's Dwayne Casey. It's Dwayne Casey. And I have to give him props for that. When you watch this game unfold, Detroit seems to be executing a game plan that's tailor-made to beat Toronto. And seeing it play out, really all Detroit had to do was not mess it up. Now, Cade Cunningham had a fabulous game, 22 points, 12 big rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Isaiah Stewart was solid with 10 and 8, 1 and 2 blocks. Sadiq Bey, 23 big points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. You see Jeremy Grant. And despite Toronto having a solid game, yes, they were shorthanded. Let's acknowledge that. But they were still 3 big guys that you would say are probably better than anyone else that are on the Detroit Pistons. You got big Gary Trent Jr., you got Pascal Siakam and Scotty Barnes, and even Precious Achiuwa off the bench. All had big games, and yet it wasn't enough. Right now, I think Toronto is headed in the right direction. I don't think this game is going to trip them up too much. And I think Detroit is going to become the team that I thought they were coming into the season. I know Cade Cunningham's injury at the very beginning of the season and was out for like a month and a half. I think that tripped up Detroit getting off to a good start. I thought they were going to be a play-in team. And you see now with Cade Cunningham playing full throttle what they can be. But right now, I think Toronto is headed a little bit further ahead of where Detroit is trying to get to. And so this was a great game, highly competitive, really enjoyable to watch. If you got League Pass, please feel free to jump on it and watch your team again. But I want to know what you guys think. Does Dwayne Casey just have their number? Where do you think the Detroit Pistons can really end up in the next year or two? Can they be as successful and sustained success as what Dwayne Casey built in Toronto? I want to know what you think. Holler at me in the comment section. Let me know what you think in the Twitterverse. And I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.